welcome to the Best Half Show. We created this show because we believe that the second half of your life can be 10 times better than your first. We believe in contrarian first principles thinking, ideas that you're not going to find elsewhere on the internet. We also believe in standing.
We do.
Yeah, because sitting is the new smoking, and standing is just high energy, right?
It's
I love it. I don't know why more people don't do this, because, really feel it when you're standing, feel the energy. Today, we're going to talk about the results of the 75-day physique transformation challenge, and all the things that we learned along the way.
So it's going to be an amazing episode. We had some highs. The highs were pretty high. The lows are pretty low. But it was an incredible 75 days. I got to say, Mark, the first thing is I didn't know 75 days. It felt forever. Like, did it feel that way to you? Like, it felt like it was just like, oh my God, there's another week of this. Did you feel that way, or was it just me?
So I've done a physique transformation before, a long time ago. You know, it was 4 months long. So it didn't feel like it was forever, for me, but maybe it's because I've done it before.
No, it's my first time. So this is all new for me, and how, maybe we'll talk about why we did it. So we started this podcast about 6 months ago. And one of the things Mark said is, hey, we should get ourselves in the best shape of our lives and get a photographer. I'm like, oh, photographer. He says, yeah, I got this like really special photographer. They do these like special photo shoots for bodybuilders, and I am definitely not a bodybuilder. So I said, okay, Mark. So he picked a date, and it worked out to be about 75 days in the calendar. So I'm like, okay, so I created this thing called 75-Day Challenge, which we've worked together on. And then I thought, if I'm going to go torture myself for 75 days, I'm going to recruit like some of my best friends. So I started I was in Mexico, and I think I called 15 people, and luckily they all said yes. And I said, hey, we're going to do this for 75 days. We're going to start with this WhatsApp thing, and then we're going to put this stuff online. And it's been amazing. So
yeah, it's been amazing. Well, I think, if you look at, I think it was our first episode, and we talked about psychological hacks for getting stuff done.
Yeah. And
so I think in a 75-day challenge, I think we put in a whole bunch of those hacks, because let's face it, it's hard. Right?
It's really hard.
We love to eat.
Yes, we do.
We didn't always love to exercise. I think now we really love to exercise, but there were many days where we didn't feel like going to the gym. You have to hack your own psychology. So the photographer was one way to do that, right? Which is like, we hired the guy.
We had a deadline.
I paid the guy. Right? And so do you want to look like crap in the photos, or do you want to look awesome in the photos?
Yes.
Mutual accountability.
That's huge.
So there are so many days where I was not feeling very motivated, and somebody would go and post their photos, would, talk about how they overcame a challenge and would give you that motivation. So there's something kind of magical, I think, in what we created there in that community. And I think it's something we want to double down on. I want to double click on as we're going to talk a little bit about, what we did in the extension. But I think there's something magical in, having mutual accountability, having a goal with some real teeth in it, that's tied to kind of a long-term vision that provides real value. So like, for example, doing bodybuilding photos, if they're great, you have them for life. One day when you're 90 years old and you're in a wheelchair,
so look at this,
this is what I looked like when I was 54, right?
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty amazing. Like, there's real value there. And so you want to perform because you want to have that value, right? So I think you can do this in almost every aspect of your life. You can do that for your business. You can do that for your relationships. Instead of just like winging it, you can put some of these hacks in place. So I'm excited about that.
And I think 75 days was a good time. It gave us enough time to do what we needed to do. So the premise for me was we start with sleep. So that was like my number one overriding goal, because everything I've read about health is like sleep is the most important thing. So when I shot the first video, I said, hey guys, just go to bed earlier, like 1 hour before, and get up earlier 1 hour. Like let's start with somewhere. Ideally, you want to get up with the sun. I mean, that was the premise. And the next premise was, as soon as you wake up, you have to do your hardest thing first, which for like 99% of us is working out. Like I don't know, but I know you like it. I don't like it. So me forcing myself from the moment I got up, I was getting up at 5, was to go. I went to an F45 class, which I really didn't want to. I didn't want to get up at 5. And I didn't want to do F45. But just doing that every day, the discipline was incredible, and how I felt for the next 12 hours was off the chart. So those two things alone were just huge for me.
Yeah. So, and I think, from psychological terms, motivational psychological terms, you're taking this big goal and you're breaking it down into pieces.
Right.
So in order to go and hit this goal, there's a few things you got to get right. You've got to get the exercise, the diet, sleep/stress. I put it's really those three things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the sleep and the stress is actually where I faltered. And I probably
they're the hardest. I think the sleep is the hardest part of all of this for like an entire generation, because we're all addicted to our phones. We're up all night. Sleep, I think, for everyone is the biggest challenge for everybody.
No, I think you're right. And I think, in terms of an extension, it's what I'm going to really focus on more. Yeah. So maybe as a segue, let's actually talk about results. So I'll talk about mine first, and then we can say, I'll talk about the goals that I hit and the ones that I didn't. Yeah. So I started maybe not 75 days. So originally it was actually 4 months. Yeah. So 4 months is, I think, when you and I just started
talking about it.
And we, and 4 months is, I think, a time where you can sort of safely do the transformation and not like gain all the weight back.
That's right.
And then I think kind of a third of the way into it.
That's right.
You said, hey, let's
do it.
Once we're 75 days away, because it's 75 hard, let's actually bring other people in.
That's right.
And turbocharge this, which
that's right. That's correct.
Well. So I started the 4 months, I was 207 pounds. Yeah. Probably the 75-day challenge started, I was like 197.
Yes.
Right. So I got to actually as low as 177 pounds. I'm back up a little bit. Wow. So my goal was to hit 180 pounds and a 32-inch waist. So I got to like 32.5-inch waist and below 180 pounds. So that's awesome.
It's incredible.
I think I look pretty good.
Can we do the shirt thing?
Yes. All right, why not? Why not? I didn't quite I didn't quite get to. So what didn't go well is I lost a lot of muscle. I lost 7 pounds more muscle than I wanted to lose.
Wow. Why do you think that happened?
So I think it's the sleep and stress.
The sleep for sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
So what happens, you don't get good sleep, your cortisol levels are up, your testosterone levels are down.
Yeah.
When you're under stress, and I had both. I had both stress in my life.
You had a lot of stress.
Family stress, business stress.
Yeah, you've had a lot going on.
But the sleep really is a big problem. So I got an Oura ring, we should talk about it.
Yes.
And my sleep scores are regularly under 70. Sometimes under 60.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever had a sleep score of 85 or above.
Okay.
Brian Johnson gets 100 every single night.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is me now.
Holy shit. That's amazing. That's amazing.
So thanks. This is
definitely the bodybuilder.
Shot there. Yeah. So I'm lucky that I had quite a lot of muscle on board. I've been working out with weights since I was 14.
Yes.
So I had quite a lot of muscle already.
Yeah.
That said, I was bigger. I was quite a bit bigger. My chest is bigger. My shoulders are bigger.
Right.
I've done a DEXA scan, so I know that I've lost quite a bit of muscle in my trunk.
Interesting.
That's not good. And it's not good because what it means is with less muscle on board, it means you can rebound. It means that your metabolic rate is now lower. In fact, a lot of physique transformation experts, coaches that do this for a living, they're actually perfectly happy with their clients not losing much weight on the scale.
Right.
In the beginning, like for 2 months, their weight may go down only 5 pounds. The thing is that they're putting on a lot of muscle.
Right.
And as a result, what it does is it torches fat later because all this muscle is burning huge amounts of energy while they're sleeping.
Correct.
Assuming you're sleeping.
If you're sleeping well, yes.
So my body fat test, I mean, it's, I started at 20%. I ended up around 15.
Yeah.
I wanted to be at 12.
Yeah.
And I still want to get to 12.
We'll do it.
12 is amazing. And I think that's actually a sustainable at 12%. So you can see visible abs here, but there's definitely some flab over top. Yeah. Because I'm Jewish, I do have this stuff on the side, Jewish love handles. So I do have that. At 12%, it's like, they're like chiclets, right?
Wow.
Over there.
Okay.
And it's a sustainable thing, right?
Yes.
So I got to 6% before a long time ago. It was 25 in a physique transformation contest. I got a lot fatter, as a result. 12 still looks good. It's sustainable. You can keep that kind of year round. You can have a cheat meal now and again. You can have a beer now and again.
Right.
And you're still going to be able to maintain it. So I want to still hit 12%.
So let's do that's our new goal. So I was about 200 pounds when I started the 75-day challenge. On the 75th day, hit 186. Today I'm 185.
Wow.
And my body fat was like 18.9, and it's now 15, which to me that was like a huge thing. I'm not taking my shirt off today, but I will in 60 days. When we hit the 12%, I will take my shirt off.
Okay.
because I want to see abs. And what was interesting, I saw a video. So there's 33 million millionaires in America, but there's only 3 million guys with visible abs.
Yeah.
So it's way harder. It's way harder, like to what you just showed us, like way harder to get abs, like actually 4 times harder than to become a millionaire. So it's pretty cool. But
I believe
it's great to do both. So
if you have both,
yeah,
then
it's pretty cool.
That's how you maximize your value.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe it. I mean, in our modern world where we have so much toxins, our food
is all poisoned,
so bad.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't surprise me at all that it's so hard for people to get lean, for sure.
Yeah. So the 75-day challenge was super hard. So here's what I learned. One is I still don't like working out, but I do it because I feel great. I only did this 45-minute F45 thing, and I felt great for 12 hours. I have discovered a new thing. I'm going to take Mark. You're going to come with me. It's called Upgrade Labs. And it's kind of like a biohacking gym. It's like next level. Dave Asprey, one of my favorite biohackers, last 20 years, put together. And it's the first time I've actually liked weightlifting. So Mark, what it is it's a machine, and it's basically adjusting to your body. The AI is adjusting to your body. And it's basically getting you to like your what do you call that? Your when it's the most difficult rep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
To failure.
It takes you to failure.
Oh, but that's great. So it actually adjusts.
It's adjusting in real time.
Right.
And so I just told you the first time I did the deadlift, I had 200 pounds, which I thought was incredible. Yeah. But then I did it again yesterday, and it was 220. So I'm already seeing like that, like a 20% improvement.
It's massive.
And so, and then it's happening.
220 is a respectable deadlift.
Okay,
That's
good.
a very respectable deadlift. Like, I mean, I can deadlift 275.
Yeah.
But that's like, I can do 3 reps.
Right.
At that, like 225, if you can do, how many reps can you do at 225?
I think I did 3 of those.
Yeah. So I think what you want to do is get that up to 8 reps.
Right.
Right. And then you want to go and say, let me try 2 reps at like 245 and kind of inch your way up.
Yeah.
But that's a great exercise.
So the point of the story is I was doing F45. I love it. I'm still doing it. But I wasn't doing weightlifting. And weightlifting is really the key. I mean, the muscle is like the key to longevity. This is the key to longevity. So we have to do it. No matter how much you hate it, you have to do it. But I really didn't like going to the traditional gym. I don't want to carry a notebook. I don't want to do all that. But I found this AI machine, and I'm like, great. So now I'm into it, and that's why I know in the next 60 days, I believe I can get to 12% body fat. I know it's gonna be super hard, but I believe I can do it because now I'm really incorporating weightlifting, which I wasn't before. So I think that's gonna make a big difference.
It absolutely will, and you don't need to do that every day. You know, it's actually one of my favorite people on Twitter. His name is Mangan, PD Mangan. He's 70 years old. He looks like he's shredded, super awesome shape. He's a physique transformation, consultant. He helps, especially older men. So he works with men that are 50 and above. He gets them all in amazing shape. He actually only works out for 75 minutes a week. So he does, he does a couple, but they're intense. These are intense strength training workofts. He's pushing a lot of weight.
Yeah.
He's getting his clients to do that. Like getting that together with the diet alone is often actually can be enough.
Yeah.
That said, so I'm not a fan of cardio. I've never been.
Right.
So what F45 has done for me, which I do 2 to 3 times a week, has replaced my cardio.
Good.
So I know that they say they do strength in there, but when you're doing 20 reps of something with not a lot of rest, that's not really strength. That's
more cardio.
It's a HIIT workout, right?
Yeah.
But the cool thing is it's cardio that involves a whole body.
It does.
So it's not like, when you're going for a jog or a cycle or even a swim, you're really not working your whole body. Right. And what I love about F45, and there are ones that are like, there's berries and there's like a whole bunch of imitators of F45.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. The other thing that I think the big thing that I learned or relearned is how important convenience and logistics are.
100%.
So the thing about F45s, at least here in Toronto, is
they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
They're like, there's more of them than there are 7-Elevens.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's amazing.
So, anywhere where I happen to be in the city, I have an F45 that is less than a 10-minute walk.
Right.
So if I have a class of 6:15 and I wake up at 6:02, I can get
it's
down
amazing.
there
There's no
and
excuses.
Get my workout, and then before 7 a.m.
in 45 minutes it's over. No, I do the 5:45 class, and 6:30 I'm done. 45 minutes in and out, and you've done your whole body. I love it.
It's amazing. Versus my strength workouts, I'm lollygagging in there, I'm looking at the phone, whatever.
Right.
By the time I get home, it's an hour and a half plus.
Yes.
Right? And yes, I got my strength training workout in, but it's really not that efficient. Maybe that's one of Another key lesson is like, don't look at the phone when you're working out. At F45, you can't.
You can't. And the other thing about F45, the community does make it easier. They blare the music. So the music is just like, it's like a nightclub, lots of good looking people. And then it is like, just, you start seeing the same people, same classes, and that community does make it more fun. Because I don't know, me working out in a gym by myself just is like the opposite of what I want to do.
So for me, like, it's my happy place. I put my music on. I love it. But you're right. You're different. And no, I do like the social aspect of it. I haven't got as much into it. But I mean, that is one of our key learnings is social does drive results. Yeah. Right? I mean, that's what we learned with our WhatsApp group.
Yes.
Is that sort of social interaction, starting to go work out together, the mutual accountability, the kind of ribbing each other when, someone's not, performing well, helping them. Like, all that stuff's really important.
And the other thing is doing it with friends is super important because like we all got to go socially and like not drink, which is huge because the not drinking was huge. And I did cheat a couple of times, but maybe like literally I can count them on one hand or maybe less, maybe 2-3 fingers in 75 days. But still have a social life, go with friends because we're doing the challenge together. That was amazing.
That was key. Yeah. I mean, for me, starting to really hang out. So I started to really deprioritize friends that like to drink.
Right.
Dating people who are into health.
Yeah.
A lot better. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, totally agreed on that. I really want to spend time with people who are focused on their health and not focused on eating and drinking.
Right. Which is most of society.
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, you know what? I don't even know anymore because I think I'm really started to narrow down to people who care about things. But you're probably right. It probably is.
So and it's great to be with motivated guys that are just doing a bunch of like everyone's wants better for themselves versus everyone else is complaining about things.
Yeah. So this is like more again. I call these are all psychological hacks for me, right? Yeah. If you hang out with people that care about this stuff, you're more likely to comply. I talked about convenience, not just the working out, like the food, right? So if you're starving. And you're going to raid the fridge for whatever you have, which hopefully your fridge is full of good stuff. If you've got your kids at home, you're going to cheat with things that aren't great. So people who are really serious about this, like they prepare their meals ahead of time. I've started doing a lot more of that.
Yes.
So like I will prepare on Sunday, I'll prepare, a whole bunch of meals, put them in the freezer, and have them ready, defrosted, so that when you're hungry, you eat good stuff. One thing that I've really tried to do is have less like protein shakes and more whole food.
Right.
I'm increasingly just not trusting anything that's in a package.
Right.
The thing is that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
So, having a day to cook ahead of time, although I will say that I probably went overboard on not having the shakes because I don't think I hit my protein goals. And it's one of the reasons why I think I lost too much muscle.
Yeah. So for me, I definitely upped the protein and I was buying all the shakes, like the protein shakes, which I'm going to continue in the protein. But it is hard. It really transforms every part of your life. Again, from groceries, even like dating, like I'm sharing meals. I can't eat the full meal anymore. Yeah. Like I'm eating half as much. I'm still doing intermittent fasting. I'm having like one big meal a day. That's all really I'm eating. So what I'm developing are lifelong habits, which I'm excited about. I like getting up early in the morning. I like doing this stuff now. And it's really, these are habits I want to have the rest of my life.
Yeah, no, I think a habit's that's a good way to put it. And we should probably talk about different things we do. We talk about the workouts, way we work out.
Can we talk about the othership as well? Some other things that we discovered.
Yeah, so I'll talk about maybe just here are the different things that we do, right? And then I'll say where I think I fell short. So in terms of food, so my intermittent fasting style, I don't eat on Tuesdays.
Right.
So I do a full 36-hour fast every week. So that's from Monday dinner until Wednesday kind of breakfast. And then on the other days, I alternate between having like the 30 grams of protein within half an hour waking, right? And that's what Tim Ferriss has kind of been promoting.
Yes, yeah.
But then I also have other days where I skip breakfast, which is a 16/8 intermittent fasting style. The reason why I do both is there's evidence for both, and I don't know what's better, so I'm just gonna do both.
Good.
So that's what I do there. I have some technology, so I use an Oura Ring to look at my sleep, and that has affected my behavior a little bit.
Good.
I'm better at blacking out. I've now started to sleep with something on my face. It's like blind
masks.
In order to get more deep sleep. So where I'm really short is on deep sleep. I get less than half an hour of deep sleep every day.
Mark, that's really
no,
bad.
it's really
that's
bad.
Really,
it's really bad.
really
I'm good
bad.
on the REM sleep.
Yeah.
But I'm not good.
Yeah.
So I looked up how do you get more deep sleep, and you got to be in a sleep cave.
Yeah.
Cold.
Yeah.
Dark.
Yeah.
Silent. Right. And so I need to work, and that's a big thing I'm going to work on, is sort of making that happen. Yeah. You mentioned Othership. So I've been going to Othership for a while. Basically, it's a sauna cold plunge combo in an amazing social environment.
Experience.
It's really awesome.
Yeah.
Introduced you to that.
Yeah.
Actually, I think you're now probably more regular about it than me. But the benefits of sauna and cold plunge is huge.
Huge.
Both do the same things in different ways. So the sauna, gives you these heat shock proteins that rev up your immune system and clean up a lot of the junk in your system. Same thing with the cold plunge. They work very well together. The Finns have been doing this for hundreds of years, and they're the happiest people on earth in Finland.
Yeah.
So there's probably something about the whole sauna cold plunge experience.
I think it's because it's social as well. I think the sauna part is social for sure, and the cold plunge is pretty amazing. Like it's been amazing because I was afraid of it. Like when you told me to do it, I'm like, oh man,
it's a great journey. You probably crave it now, right?
Yeah, it's
like
really cool.
When you're in there now, like at first it's cold, and then after 15 seconds, like you feel your nervous system just relaxing, right?
Yeah.
You're relaxing. You're in your head and meditating. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the experience.
But it is hard and shocking. So even some of the guys in our challenge, like some of my really fit friends that look like cavemen, and I took them to the cold plunge, they couldn't handle it for more than 10 seconds. Like some of the toughest guys I know, I brought, and they couldn't handle it. So they had to build up to it. So it's interesting. It's getting it's basically a cold bath. It's hard. It's really hard. I think it's obviously all mental.
It's hard at first, but then the way through it, and I think this is the way through a lot of challenges, is you just know how good you're going to feel in just 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You're going to feel great, and you're going to feel great for like the next day, right? And I think it's the same thing with a lot of things, for me, the big challenge that I have, and I still have not licked it yet, is the late night eating.
Yeah,
and
huge.
when I'm at my best, I'm like, okay, I can eat this, and I might feel good temporarily, but wouldn't I feel better tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Not eating this, knowing there'll be a pound less on the scale, knowing I'm going to look great. Yeah. And mentally, I know that I conquered this.
Yeah.
I still haven't, the other day, and this is crazy, I brushed my teeth. I went to bed.
Oh no.
I'm lying in the bed.
Oh no.
And then I'm just like thinking about this food in my fridge. And I literally got out of the bed and I ate it. And I felt so bad after. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Right.
Well, so it can't be in your house. So that's the bottom line. So I've been pretty good at that. I just don't buy that stuff.
I didn't even really have that bad stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's just something so comforting.
Yeah.
Right. That you crave that so much. And I've not yet figured out the silver bullet psych hack for dealing with that, with being able to overcome
it's hard
that sort of thing. So if anyone in the comments, if anyone has any ideas, no, I'm really interested in that and I'm even self-aware. Like I'm even there. And I'm like,
I know
what I'm doing. I know I was eating cheese and a cracker or something. And I know it's not what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah, we all do that.
There's got to be a way where you can sort of cut that out. So that's a challenge.
Well, I'll tell you how it is. Brian Johnson goes to bed at 8:30.
Okay.
8:30, because he calls it like whatever he has a name for. It's like the bad Brian comes out at night, and it's true. Yeah. So he's in bed by 8:30. So imagine if you're in bed by 8:30, none of that's going to happen.
It's true. You know what?
It's not going to happen.
And that's a hack. So a couple of times I was like that. I roll on. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go to bed. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to go to bed early, and I'm just not going to deal with these. Yeah. That's
so good. I think that's the key. Going to bed early.
That might be things you're feeling those cravings. You just kind of do that. That does make sense.
But I'm going to make the investment in that bed I was telling you about, that expensive.
Like sleep.
Yeah, because I think this is the key to everything. And apparently you get an extra hour of deep sleep just from that bed. I mean, look, that's an investment in ourselves. Like that's one of the best investments we can make. Yeah. So I think the sleep is a huge
that works. It's an interesting idea.
I'm going to test it.
They're expensive. It's like $4,000 or something like that. It's not cheap. So I'm interested in that. I just saw an ad. I shared it with you about it's a new startup here, actually in Toronto, that's got this neurofeedback, mask that is actually sensing where you are in your sleep and is either playing some music or doing some other things. giving you neurofeedback so that you're doing more deep sleep, and it's less expensive. It's $500. So
I think you try that one. I'll try that, Ben. We'll see how it goes.
Maybe do both of them. But I think you're right. I think in terms of improving our quality of life, and I mean, it's important. Like, I have a lot of neurodegenerative disease in my family, so Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. It is an absolute fact that sleep, like deep sleep, is where you do your garbage collection in your brain. Yeah. You know, I don't want to get Alzheimer's, you know, so I really need to get this dialed in. So I think this is going to be a real priority for me in the next while. The other one, I think the other thing that I need to get tighter on is around tracking my food. So,
interesting.
You know, again, if you want to get from 25% down to whatever it is, 15%, okay, which is kind of what you got to and me too, it's not as difficult. Right. I mean, yes, you've got to start. You got to work through the pain, the workouts. Yes. You've got to deal with procrastination with the food and all this sort of thing. But you can ballpark things. You can eyeball things.
You're right.
Right, and say, I eat about 800 calories, about 500 calories. Right. I think I had 120 grams of protein a day. Yeah. And honestly, I think I came well short of my protein goals. Yeah. And even though it's annoying, I've got to do a better job tracking my food. Get a scale. Actually scale to weigh things. Food. You know, you mentioned Dan Martell did a phenomenal job on his transformation. Yeah. You know, he was lackadaisical for a while, and then he got disciplined and hired somebody and got, you know, really down to the gram, you know, how much protein he's going to get, and getting really
so you think for us to get to 12%, we've got to get that?
Well, this for me. So I think, you know, I love to lift weights. You don't, right? So you're actually going to get serious now about your strength. And it's great. Like, your strength is, you know, this is fun now for you,
it's
right?
It's going to get fun.
This is fun. Yeah. For me to increase my deadlift from 275 to 280, which is, I'm at 275, right? That's hard. Every extra pound is, you really, really feel it. You're in an exponential growth phase. It's fun right now, but you're going to grow to love lifting weights. For me, I think it's about getting, because I want to get leaner. I don't want to lose another pound of muscle along the way. Right. And so I need to hit those protein goals, like the macro goals. Yes. You know, I need to hit and just not be so loose about it. And chances are for you too, getting tighter on a diet, I think, will probably be helpful.
Yeah, and you know, it's more difficult for me with the protein because I'm vegetarian, and you just eat meat. Yeah. So
you
it's
still eat eggs, and I really salute you for how many eggs you've eaten.
I eat a lot of eggs.
Because you know what?
I eat a lot of eggs.
I actually like. I thought I liked eggs.
It's the perfect food.
I thought I liked them, but you know, after you've had your freaking 8 eggs in a day, you don't want to look at another one for a week.
Yeah, no, I eat a lot of eggs. Pretty much the only thing I actually know how to cook. So it's eggs are good. So let's talk about some of the other things. What I learned in the cold plunge, again, it was psychological. I got in there, and then you build, and even my friends that couldn't do it initially, then they started doing it a lot. You mentally build, you're just building that muscle. And I think that what I learned in the 75-day challenges is by doing the hard stuff, doing stuff I didn't want to do every day, consistently, it changed other aspects of my life. Like we talked about this in the car today, but my relationship with my ex-wife is the best it's ever been, like in a decade, like incredible. Like it's like a miracle. My relationship with my daughter, it's never been better. We just spent a week in New York together. Like, it's never been better. With my sons, never, with my parents. Like, it has, you know, when you feel good about yourself, when you build this strength, and because you're doing the hard stuff every day, it ripples into every area of your life. Yeah. It's just like every other part of your life just starts working better because you feel so good and you're proud of yourself. It really ripples into every other aspect of our lives.
Yeah, that's great. There is some real neuroscience behind that, right? There's actually a part of the, you know, some angular gyrus, I can't remember the name of it, but there's an actual part of the brain that gets stronger when you do things that are difficult, right? So I think that's one thing. And the other thing is, you're right, I think people are just more attracted to you. Right? Like, including your own family. You're like, hey, this guy's a winner, right? You feel like a winner. Yeah. Other people, you know, want to do things for you as a result. So no, that is, and you're right. Yeah. There's a concept called the keystone habit that I think it's a great concept, right? And often I think for men, it really starts with the gym. That's why when so many coaches, the first thing they get their clients to do, including me, even though like I'm a business coach, I work with CEOs on their businesses. But if they're, you know, out of shape and whatnot, like we do have fitness goals. because it's a keystone habit.
It's so smart.
Once you do that, you know, you get a lot of other things done.
Yeah.
It actually, where this concept comes from, is a really interesting story. So there's this company, Alcoa, which is now a very big company. It's the #1 producer of aluminum in the world.
Right.
But at one point they were struggling. They were flirting with bankruptcy, you know, over and over again. They went through 3 CEOs in 4 years. And so the board had no one to put in there anymore, and actually went to the counsel, like the in-house counsel, the chief lawyer of the company, and said, "Will you run this company?" And he's like, "I'm a lawyer." I mean, he says, "We have no one else. You gotta run the company."
Yeah.
So he's like, "All right, fine, sign me up." And the first thing that he did, and he announced it on, you know, whatever it is, CNBC on Wall Street. He said, "We are committed to workplace safety." And Wall Street went, "What the fuck?" And the stock tanked 10% because they're like, "Oh my God, they put the lawyer in."
Right.
And the lawyer is focused on safety. He's not focused on producing product. He's not focused on distribution. But there was some wisdom in this. And the reason why he did that was because he knew about all of the lawsuits that were happening because the workers were getting injured all the time. And he also knew that in order to become #1 in the world in workplace safety, all these other things had to happen. All these computer systems, all these processes had to happen to be #1 in that area. Everyone had to communicate better in the company. They had to have better meetings. All these things had to happen. Anyway, they did become #1 workplace safety. They also became the #1 producer of aluminum in the world. But the idea here is that workplace safety was the keystone habit. And once you got that done, in order to get that done, you have to dial in these other aspects of your life.
Yeah.
So for example, if you want to get to 12% body fat, like now we have, we need to develop some real discipline that right now we don't have, right? You don't record your food.
No.
I don't.
No.
That's like a major undertaking.
Okay.
But every time you eat something, you literally have to go into MyFitnessPal, whatever it is, you know, and write it down.
All right.
It means that you have to have real discipline around like writing down. You said, "I don't like to sit down with a notebook and write it," but you should, right? You should know that you did 225 and did three reps of it. Some people say that the best tool in the gym, like the best piece of workout equipment in the gym, is a notebook.
Interesting.
I don't use a notebook.
Right.
But you know what? If you're happy at staying at 15, which is not bad, at 15, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Then you can keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You want to get down to 12 or 11% and sustainably, it means you've got to do these other things in order
You're
to
right. One of the things I just heard yesterday, I was watching a video about weightlifting. And if you're lifting the same weight, you will look the same. You literally have to go higher weight or else you won't look different. I'm like, oh man. So it's not just about repetition. Every time you've got to push yourself to the next level.
Yeah, no, and there's real science behind this. So the reason why that is because the muscle fiber, it's because the muscle, it's not just the muscle, it's also the nerves, you know, so and it's the fascia. There's all kinds of things that are going on there. But to lift more weight, you need to recruit more muscle. So what that means is you need to be able to spark more with the nervous system. That needs to grow too.
Yeah.
It's not just the muscle. You need to also have like more nerves that go across the muscle. That takes time to build, right? You also need to have stronger tendons and ligaments and all that kind of stuff.
And some of these take longer.
It takes longer, but if you don't stress the body with more weight, you never will have to do that.
Right.
I also think you should stress in other ways too. So one of the reasons why I like F45, and I didn't in the beginning, right?
Yeah, you weren't like a big fan when we first talked about it.
I mean, part of it was just me being a workout snob and just saying, well, this is like the Mick workout, right? If it's popular, then I don't like it.
Yes.
But you know, the reason why it's popular is because it's brilliant. It's just very, very well designed, and that's why it's done so well.
Yes.
But it's a completely different kind of workout than I normally do. So I love to lift more weight and have lots of rest and whatever. Is my normal way, kind of almost powerlifting style.
Yeah.
You know, you do F45, like you're doing 20, 25 reps. You're getting 14 seconds of rest, and then you're going to do it again. And your body's just aching, right?
Yes.
You know, I'm normally not doing that kind of endurance sort of thing. Yeah. But that's good too, right? If you don't stress your muscles out with endurance testing, then also you're not going to get the adaptation.
Right.
So I think you got to do both.
You got to do both.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do the hypertrophy. Yeah. Right, which is you know, where you're doing. So your typical hypertrophy training is you're doing like 8 to 12 reps of something. So your typical bodybuilders are in the 8 to 12 range. But you should also sometimes do 3 reps, like as you've done, 3 reps of 225 as opposed to 8 reps of 180.
Right.
I'm going to do 3 of 225. I might do 1 of 240 and really try to push that.
Yeah.
And then also on the other side, if you're used to doing 12 or something, like I just read something really interesting, which is try to do 100, if you can do 100 air squats. So just like down, I'm sore.
Oh, that's so hard.
And
that's
you know what? Even these amazing bodybuilders and top physique can't come anywhere close.
So hard, yeah.
But they should.
Right.
You know, no weight.
Yeah.
Just 100.
Just body weight.
Up and down, right?
That's so hard.
And you're going to get major adaptation for that. Right?
Yeah.
And I guess that's a key lesson for everything, which is we don't get better unless we undergo stress.
We have to embrace pain and hunger. So that's what I learned. Like I do intermittent fasting, 1 big meal a day. Like I've had to just embrace the hunger.
Yeah.
I've had to embrace pain. There's some other benefits I want to talk about because you know some of my friends that we had the challenge with, but like my friend Dan, he's like my most fun party friend. Like I travel around the world with Dan, and Dan is like party man at the highest level. Like, and he's like, I think he's on a boat right now in Ibiza, right? Like this is my friend Dan. He quit drinking. He hasn't had an ounce of alcohol. It's now we're going into 4 months. Like unbelievable change.
Wow.
Like this is like, wow. Okay. My son Carter gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's a teenager. Teenagers like to sleep in. He's getting up at 5 and he's playing basketball at 5 in the morning. Like the things I've seen, my best friend Darren since grade 2, we're on a Zoom call. You're on the Zoom call with us. And just before the Zoom call, we're just chatting. We're wearing the same pants that we did in high school. Our waist size is the same. Our weight's the same as high school. Like that's crazy. Like he just turned 55. We're 55 years old. You're just not supposed to have your high school weight. So it has life-changing benefits, but when you can do it with your friends, it's really powerful.
Right. Yeah. I think we figured something out. I mean, we have a community, the 75-day challenge. We're extending it. I think we should invite other people in who are interested.
And just so for those who don't know, 75-day challenge was $97 US per month, and we've just decided we're gonna fund anyone that wants to do it for free. We've added 150 videos from the top experts in the world, like literally 150 videos from the top experts. But what we do is we distill it down to like a 3-minute clip or 4-minute clip. So in less than 10 minutes, you're getting information from the best experts on planet Earth, and it's done over a 75-day period. So it's 75daychallenge.com. It's completely free. There's no we're going to fund this. But it's pretty life-changing. We've seen it with ourselves, with our friends. So we hope you join us on the 75-day challenge.
Absolutely, yeah. So August 24th, we're going to go and we're going to go take more photos.
Yes,
this time
I'm going to take off my shirt
off. Everyone's going to go and see it.
Yeah.
We're going to have a nice party to celebrate. I'll be turning 51 the next day.
Amazing.
So hopefully it will be an inspiration to see what a 51-year-old can look like. Without crazy lifestyle changes, like still enjoying ourselves.
Still having a great time.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Sure. So to conclude the 75-day challenge, it can be life-changing for you as it has been for us and our friends. And we hope you join us on the journey.